Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. Boy, oh boy, it's been a day. I was just saying to mom there not too long ago that really should be taking a day off more often because I got a lot done today. So, what's everybody up to? I see some friends. Kay and Inca, Rita, Macaroni Magpie. Hello, Heather. I got my hot chocolate. What's everybody drinking today? What's everybody drinking? Got some tea going? Oh my gosh, you guys, this week has been crazy, crazy for me. For those of you who don't already know, I had a bit of an accident on Wednesday morning. I got up and I was walking the 2 steps to the bathroom and stepped in a pile of cat puke, and my legs went like this. I landed half in, half out of the bathroom. I'm all bruised and banged up and sprains and strains, and today was the first day that I started feeling like the pain levels were coming down. So, I'm hoping to be able to get back to the gym tomorrow because I had just started my 2nd Conqueror challenge, and I was really ticked off that I had injured myself like 10 I was only like 2 days into this challenge, and I had already completed 10% of it, and I was just so angry. But then today, like, I'm doing some housework and stuff like that, and I can feel the strains a little bit, but I'm definitely on the mend. Elizabeth's got some, um, water with watermelon. Oh, that sounds good, and Heather's got raspberry flavored water. Mm, that sounds delish. Yeah, I'm definitely on the mend. Definitely on the mend. I will likely go to the gym tomorrow and just try to do a little bit on the treadmill to see how my knees are feeling because that was what took the worst of it was my knees. So there's really no pain in my knees today. So fingers crossed. But it made for an interesting week because I couldn't stay at the computer for very long. And I had all of these plans to get workbooks done and like all of this stuff for Scroll and Scribe because that is bearing down on us with the live event, the Inspire Indie coming up on June the 15th, as well as the start of Scroll and Scribe on July the 1st. So I had all of these plans. I was going to get all of this stuff done. And it turned out that I wasn't able to sit to the computer. So being, the HB90, alum that I am, went back through my plan and I started picking out tasks that still like would need to be done, but I wasn't planning on doing until more towards the end of the quarter that would allow me to, be curled up here on my bed, being a lot more comfortable and still feeling like I was getting stuff done. And it worked. It worked so well. Yesterday, I was able to spend the best part of the day at the computer, so I was able to get these workbooks done. Not completely done, but I will have them done by the end of the day tomorrow. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And right, right. Um, it was just yeah, absolutely. But what this must be something about Wednesday. I got hurt at work and my shoulders messed up. Oh, honey, it's hard to even get something out of the fridge. I did bang up both shoulders pretty good because I landed against the bathroom door jamb. And I stopped myself with my right arm from completely falling down. So the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, and I hit my shoulder on the door jamb. So for until I think about yeah, it was yesterday that I was finally able to reach above my head for stuff. It is hard. Please take it easy. I have the heating pad going on my back right now, just because. But with this accident came the imposter syndrome. We talked about imposter syndrome on Tough Love Tuesday on my other channel, um, because it was hitting me because I was planning on taking Wednesday off. Now, that wasn't the way I wanted to take it off, but I was like, I haven't really taken a solid day off because even days like today, where the last Sunday of every month is my day off, I still spend 3 to 4 hours working. I mean, stuff like this, I don't really consider it work because it's so much fun. My planning, that can be a little bit more intense now than just planning out my week. So I spend about 2 to 3 hours on Sunday planning my week and going over my plan and doing my what Amber McHugh calls CEO time. And I couldn't remember the last time I took a day off and did no work. It wasn't last year. It may have been 2022. I'm talking one day. I'm not talking a vacation. So I decided that's it. I'm pushing burnout here. I need to take a day off. And as I'm getting things wrapped up, so that I can take that day off, the imposter syndrome started hitting really, really hard. The whole hustle culture thing. Well, you own your own business. Unless you work, money's not going to come in. You know, you've got this thing coming up in 6 weeks and you're not work. You're going to take a day off now. You know, this is this voice chattering in my head, and I don't even know whose voice that was because it sure as heck wasn't mine. And it wasn't something that I grew up hearing because my father owned his own business for 30 plus years. And I helped him start that business and worked with him. Those of you tuning in from, if there's anybody here from the East Coast of Canada, that first year that he opened his business, I put the garden centers in all of the superstores. And I went around and I gave up my apartment because I was only home one night a week. So I'm used to hustling, but my father was really big on taking your downtime. Really big on taking your even when you were on the road, when the clock struck 6, that was it. The pajama pants went on, so did the television set, and you took the evening. Now you might be, writing up a couple of orders, that you have to get in or whatever, but it was drilled into my head that you need your downtime. So I don't know where this is coming from. I guess it could be all of that whole boss babe stuff we see on social media or whatever. And then with the accident it made it even worse. It made it even worse. It's like, you know what? You can sit at your desk. You're used to pain. See, I have fibromyalgia, so I don't know what it's like to not have pain. I've been like this for the last 25 years. So my brain's now telling me to push myself instead of taking the time to heal because I'm used to pain. And I'm like, no, you know what, brain, just shut up. Just shut up. And I took Wednesday off and I did no work. I didn't cook supper. Mom cooked supper Wednesday night. I got up. I did my morning routine. I had my coffee. I played some video games on my computer. And then I watched an entire season of Criminal Minds. I didn't even take and put my various notebooks and planners and stuff on the bed with me when I was watching TV, like I do every night. And it was good. I mean, I was in a lot of pain, but it was good for my brain. It was good for my brain. When it felt like I could sit at the computer, I did, but I only chatted with friends or played video games. And then when I needed to get up, I went back to watching TV. And it was amazing. But I had to actually talk to myself, talk to the imposter syndrome more than talking to myself, because I know that that's not me. I don't know where it's come from. I don't know that I need to know where it's coming from. I just need for it to shut its face and go sit in the corner, you know? But I had to psych myself up to take the day off and not feel immense amounts of guilt. And I am pleased to say I felt zero guilt. Now, had I not hurt myself, I don't know if that would still be true. I don't know if it would still be true. Because I would have felt very much like I needed to be surrounded by my planners and my journals and stuff and doing brainstorming and that sort of thing. So, yeah, this is it right here. When you go away like that, but it was for a really good reason. It was your anniversary, right? It's so hard. It's so hard. And Kay, you are absolutely right. It is just as important as time on. Just as important. But I can't even. It felt good. And it was so good that it didn't even irk me at all to work today. I got a lot done. But I also got a lot of stuff done that has been sitting on my gist list for a while, like sweeping my bedroom floor. Y'all, it's shedding season. You should have seen the size of the hairball I ended up with. Poor Ziggy. And it's hard to sweep because he has to attack the broom. So it took me twice as long as it should have. But, like things like that I have been putting off, because I'm that person that housework always gets put off, right? If I have to work, the housework's the first thing to get tossed away. But it felt good. And, Kay, you're absolutely right. It is usually a parent's voices. But in my case, it's not. It's just really, really weird housework. What's that? Right? Right? Someday I'll be bringing in enough money to hire somebody to come in and do my housework. But that day is not today. That day is not today. But one thing that I think that now that because the wrist was hurt and the hand was hurt and that sort of thing, I got no edits done this week because of it. Because I don't write on Mondays and Tuesdays. I don't touch my writing. It's all like the business end of my business on Mondays and Tuesdays. And the plan was, I had it in my schedule, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, edits, because I do have to rewrite some scenes. Thank you, Inka and Rachel. I do have to rewrite some scenes in Vengeful Soul, and that did not get done. However, this Saturday is Double Down Day. How is it Double Down Day again? Didn't we just have that last week? I don't know about you guys, but this quarter is flying by. Flying by. And the last thing yes, Kay, it is. It absolutely is. This Saturday is Double Down Day. And the virtual writing retreat just happened. And see, I think that's part of it, because the virtual writing retreat only happens once a quarter, whereas Double Down Day happens every month. And I looked and asked, where did April go, Heather? I don't know. I don't know. And it always feels that way when it's a virtual writing retreat month. Yeah, it's just, it zooms by so quickly. And with the way that I have structured Scroll and Scribe, I think it's just going to make things whip by even faster for me. Hello, new friend. Glitter and duct tape. I love this. I love this. Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. Yeah, see, Rita, you haven't been feeling well, honey, and I totally get that. The lack of energy is strong. Yes, I get that. I totally get that. Um, but it does seem to be whipping by. And, that kind of makes me a little bit nervous. Hey, KL, how are you? Glitter and duct tape. Glitter and duct tape are two of my favorite things. Yes, right? Because you can fix anything with duct tape and glitter. I sweat it, darling. That's all I'm saying. You know, we've been in this apartment now for 4 years, and through most of it was through lockdown. I think I carried glitter from Pride the year before into this apartment because it's still showing up everywhere. Glitter fixes everything. Yes, it does. But this is the thing I'm finding is that my days are just flying by. And it's really, really hard to not put more on my plate than I have time for right now. Because with Scroll and Scribe starting in good God, well, 6 weeks to Inkspire Indie and 8 weeks to Scroll and Scribe launch. It's all about the focus. It's all about the focus. And it's hard not to feel, oh God, I gotta turn this off. Turn my eating pad off because whoo, I feel like I'm having a hot flash. It's hard not to feel the guilt over not writing. Like I was all set to write that novella for my pen name when camp started. I wrote the first day, the 870 words, first words I've written all year. And then all of a sudden, my brain screeched to a halt and went, there is no flipping way you can do this now. Because you all know what I went through with that business plan. Trying to get that business plan written. But hey, good news. Good news. I had my meeting on Friday with my business advisor with the not-for-profit that's providing the funding to me. And he said there was not a thing that needed to be changed after he reviewed it. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, this is the first time that I have written a business plan that's been that in depth and nothing needs to be changed. Nothing. So I'm pretty excited about that because that's going to open up some doors for me. And thank you, Kay, because my biggest fear was that all of the blood, sweat, and tears that I had put in to that business plan, I was going to have to do again. I figured he was going to come back and at least 50% of it was going to need changed. And nothing. The one thing he said that I took as a negative, but that he said wasn't really a negative, especially if I'm going to be going for a small business loan, is that I was a little on the pessimistic side with my cash flow projections. And I said, well, and I started explaining HB90 to him. And I started explaining the whole good, better, best. And that in this case, I was going with the good because that's my bare minimum for what I consider to be success. And then he understood. You could see the light bulb go off. And I was just so stunned, y'all. I was so stunned. And that was another thing that made me feel like I could take the day off, was that was something that wasn't going to have to go on my plan for this coming week now. It was like I had in the back of my head was planning for having to take a couple of days at least, solid like 8-10 hour days to fix my business plan. At least 2 days I was planning for 20 hours worth of work to fix that business plan. Now it's like nothing. I've got nothing. So I think that was kind of what carried me into the weekend and enabled me to get so much done, especially today. Pardon me. I love this. It just says do less, right? Right? Because the thing is we want to help people, but then we're putting our stuff aside to help them, and that's never a good thing. Never a good thing. Um, Another thing that we had talked about on Tough Love Tuesday was the imposter syndrome toolkit or toolbox. So I did mine up. I did mine up and I framed it. I know you can't, sorry for the glare, but I'm going to hang it right here so that I can see it. And there's 3 things I have in my toolbox. One is the 1 sprint rule, which was something I started doing sometime last year, and I kind of lost track of it. It's where if I don't feel like doing something, I sit down and I do it for 1 sprint. And then if I still don't feel like doing it, I don't have to. That's never happened. It's never happened. Right? So the 1 sprint rule, and that was applying to my writing. That's how I got the first draft of Vengeful Soul completed, was with that 1 sprint rule. And then there was the quote that I cannot remember who it was that said it, but my grandfather said it to me when I was little, that there are no shortcuts to any place worth going. So that's on there, keeping that in the forefront of my mind. And then our darling Becca Syme and her quote of imposters don't get imposter syndrome. So that's my toolbox, and that's going right up on the wall. And I think it's going to help. I really, really do. Because I am still looking at a September release for Vengeful Soul. I'm still looking at that. And with everything that's going on with Scroll and Scribe, I think it's an okay release date. I'm looking at like late September. Because I think that once I get started with Scroll and Scribe, because it's so structured, like, there's the weekly workshop every Monday, and, there's certain ones we do at certain times of the month. And then there's the monthly brain picker that only always happens on, like, I think it's the 2nd Saturday of the month. And then there's the quarterly, panel that always happens on this day and this sort of thing. It's so structured that if I have my team in place with the speakers and everybody that's going to be doing these with me, that's actually going to free up time for me to write. Because right now, where I'm still in the planning phase and still in the phase of, I got to make this workbook, and I have to have a meeting with this partner, and I have to have a meeting with this team member, and it's going to free up time once things starts. And that seems a little counterintuitive, but I really do. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, if you want to go down here in the description, I've created a new link hub for myself because Linktree just wasn't doing it for me. And you can click on and go to the Scroll and Scribe website to see what the program is all about. And there's stuff. There's the agenda for Inspire Indie on June the 15th is now up there as well. So yeah, it's just getting this done. Getting the writing done part is what I'm having trouble with. Hey, Jenna, thank you for swinging in. Thank you for swinging in. I appreciate that. I'm really excited, KO. I'm really excited about it because this is a way that I'll be able to give back to the community. And I'm going to be doing it kind of think like the way Ream is structured, where you have different tiers at different price points and you get different things in that price point so that it makes it as accessible to as many people as possible. This is it right here, right? This is it. If it wasn't for HB90, I'd be lost. I'd be lost. It's too easy for me to stop and do nothing. That's not, I think we're all a bit like that. I know I am. The one sprint rule is it's a way to kind of like give yourself a kick in the butt, right? And then even if you do end up stopping, you've still gotten some stuff done, right? So it doesn't feel, you don't have that automatic guilt of, oh, I didn't do anything. Well, you did. You took 25 minutes or 30 minutes or however long you make your sprint, and you got some stuff done. And I think that is, I think it's something we can all use. I really do. I really do. And yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So what's everybody else up to? Ask me some questions. Tell me no lies. I realized in April that I'm not as much of a binge writer as I thought. Now that I'm writing full time and don't have a regular job, I can write consistently. Yes. I find a lot, that's the same with a lot of people. And that's how I was when I was working full time as well, is that I would write in binges because that's all I really had time for. I'm still, I left the rat race back in August, and I'm still working on a regular sprint or a regular writing schedule. And it hasn't really happened because of everything that's going on with getting Scroll and Scribe ready. Hey, Ange, thank you so much for being here, hon. Yeah, CK, I mean, that's, and that works for you with your schedule, right? You have to do what works for you. And I think that this is part of the problem. I finally, so Devin at I'll Call Indie. Hello, Ziggy. Devin at I'll Call Indie had asked me some questions like she was going to put up in their newsletter. And one of the questions that I was asked is that, there's this popular thing in the writing, in the indie author community, most especially, of you have to write every day. And did I agree with that or not? And I'm like, not one bit. Not one bit. Stephen King doesn't write every day. I don't write every day. Sarah Cannon doesn't write every day. I don't know too many people that do write every day. And if they write every day, it's because it works for them. If you have a full-time job and children, or maybe, you're taking care of elderly parents, or you have a chronic illness or something like that, trust me when I say, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, writing every day is not going to happen. So if you try to get yourself this whole, I'm going to write every day, and then you miss a day because you're sick or the kids are sick or you had to work late or whatever, or you had to cover someone else's shift if you're in retail, because you all know what that's like if you've worked retail, and you miss a day, what's that going to do to your productivity? Right? Kay, you're so right. There is a thing. It's toxic productivity is a thing. It's like it's hustle culture. It's so damaging. Oh my God. You know what? If hustle culture works for you, all the power to you. I am not throwing you any shade. But it doesn't work for most people. And there's so many people who burn themselves out and I've been there. I've done that. And somebody asked me a question. Hang on one second. For the program you mentioned, will it be possible even if you work 7 days in a row and then 7 days off? Absolutely, it will, because if you work a regular 9 to 5, it will most definitely work for you to show up live because, like on Mondays when we do our weekly thing, that's going to be like supper time-ish. But there will also be, it's going to be in Zoom, done by Zoom. It's going to be recorded. And if you're not able to make it, then I will send out a link so that you can watch it on your own time. And then if you have any questions, my email is always open. But absolutely, yes. And see, because then you could do on your own time for 7 days and then show up live the next 7 days. It'll work for everybody because I'm going to be doing replays. And I'm very good at answering emails and this sort of thing. Oh, excuse me. Elizabeth's saying, all right, 6 days a week, so not every day, but close. And that works for you. But you need that one day, right? You need that one day. I remember that you had left there a while ago. You're not able to write full time right now, right? Right now. And see, this is it. And you have a daughter who's got all of these things going on because she's graduating. Oh my gosh, there is so much going on for these kids, like outside of the classroom. Graduation year, right? So I get that. I totally get that. If you can get 15 minutes in a day, even just to show up for your story, even if you're not getting any words, even if it's like going for a walk to think about that plot hole or, showing up for your story. And this is something Sarah taught us recently, and it hit me right between the eyes because when she was talking about how she was having trouble with the edits for Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw, but she made the commitment that she would show up for her story every morning after the kids went off to school. And she did. She didn't write every day, but she showed up for her story. So there was other things that she was doing, whether it was just journaling about ideas that she had for edits or whatever, right? And that's where I think a lot of us have that disconnect, is that we think that our writing time needs to be about putting words on the page. And it really doesn't, because there's so much more to our stories than words on the page. There's the world building, there's the character arcs, there's the backstories, and the how well we need to know our characters. It's about showing up every day. And I think that that's a wonderful thing to do for our creativity. I mean, this is just me spitballing, right? It's just me spitballing. I mean, you don't have to agree with me. It's all good. Because this is just my opinion. And please, if you disagree with me, say so in the comments. I love a good debate. I love to hear how other people think of things. And because I plan to write every day, but I don't beat myself up over it. Right? Burnout is because you know what? If you get to the point where you're burnt out, where you're already burnt out, it's going to be a lot longer for you to get done with that story. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is it right here. So my thing is, Mom will come into my room and start talking to me because I'm sitting here and I'm playing Candy Crush. So in her mind, I'm not busy. But I'm playing Candy Crush to keep my hands busy. And I'm half focused because the rest of my brain is running through a bit of dialogue, or it's trying to figure out what I need to put in that workbook for, the kickoff. And it's having that whole, I don't know, where you just let your brain marinate on it, Ruminate, that's the right word. Look at marinate. You let the story marinate by letting your brain ruminate, right? And absolutely take what you can from this. Take what you can from this. Oh, Yeah. Yeah. That part of your brain just shuts down. It goes into survival mode, I think. And for a lot of us, it's because we're not refilling that well, especially the people with full-time jobs and kids and, full-time family responsibilities and everything else. It Our creativity takes a hit when everybody else's needs and problems and whatever comes first. And we're not taking that time to feed our own creativity, right? Um, this is it. I have this, scattered all over the house. Sticky notes, notebooks. I keep a traveler's notebook in my purse that has 3 different little notebooks in it for the, 3 different. One is for my pen name, one is for the Hellscape Saga, and the other one is for any other glimmers that come to me. And I need to get them down while I'm out running errands or whatever. So Kay is a burnout coach. Kay is the one who will help you prevent the burnout or recover from it if you're already there. And Kay is going to be one of our speakers at the June 15th Inspire Indie event. And she's going to be talking about burnout. I cannot freaking wait for this. Cannot wait for it. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun, Kay. But, we're kind of all over the place today, but that's what my week's been like. Keep getting distracted, Keep getting distracted. No pressure. No pressure, Kay. No pressure. Any good news? Anybody want to share anything? Oh, speaking of sharing, Kay, if you would like to share your website link, Kay's first book comes out on Wednesday. I have already pre-ordered my copy. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. So if anybody has any cool stuff going on, please let us know so we can celebrate you. And I apologize. There's some noise going on here. I don't know what. Well, first of all, it's I live in a building with mostly retired people. And all the cute little old men are getting their motorcycles out for the summer. So it's been super noisy out in the parking lot because they gather out there with their bikes and they clean them up, and it's absolutely adorable. Inca, you did not. Oh my God. Congratulations. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. I can't even imagine getting a book bub. Well, I'm not at a place in my career where I have enough chops to actually get it, at least for under my own name, under my pen name. I'd never get a book for that genre. Wouldn't happen. There's Kay's website. Go check it out. Elizabeth, finish the first draft. Oh, that's KL. Sorry. KL, that is amazing. You could do a rewrite because you know what? First drafts are supposed to suck. They're supposed to suck. And now you get to go back and work with the bones, because that's all it's meant to be, right? Is to just regurgitate it on the page. And now you got something to work with. Congratulations. Now, this is what I was just like, holy moly, Elizabeth, you have been working your tail off. 56K for camp. Gonna hit 60K. Oh, you've got this. You've got this. You've been working your butt off. You really, really have. Finished 0 draft on a novel I've been working on for years, and it was 30. You know what? 30,000 words is just as hard to write as 80,000 words. As someone who writes short form and full-length novels, I'm telling you right now, I have a novella that's 32,000 words that was just took me just as long to write the first draft of that as it took me to write the, 82,000 words of Vengeful Soul. Congratulations. See, now comes the real work. Now you get to go back and pick it apart. And oh, it is, right? It's such an amazing feeling. And that's something to be proud of for sure. Just in time for my birthday. That's right. You did have that milestone sales month. You've been rocking it. You've been rocking it. So proud of you. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at us all rocking it. And I say it it's flying by. This quarter's flying by. But we're only really into, what are we? Week 6? Week 6 of 13. We've still got time. We've still got time, right? This is it, Elizabeth. You've done that inner work. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And you guys are just rocking it out. Rocking it out. Now you make me want to go write. You make me want to go do some writing now, you guys. But I will be writing for Double Down Day. I will be doing some writing for Double Down Day. And because once I think it's 2 scenes I have to rewrite, and then I'll run the book through Pro Writing Aid for edits there. But while those edits are going on, I will be plotting book 2, which I already have like 26,000 words of that book written. So yeah, I'm hoping if I release Vengeful Soul in September, that I will be releasing book 2 in November. Fingers crossed. It takes you for it can write 225, right? Well, and see, this is the thing. Where my problem is when I'm writing a novella, I want to do world building and all of this sort of thing that you can't do it the same way with 30,000 words or 25K. But like under my pen name, there's pretty much, except for that one novella, it's all short stories. But when I say short stories, I'm talking they're like 7 to 10,000 words, right? So yeah, but you can't really do that kind of world building and getting really in deep with the character's journey and stuff when you're doing short form stuff. Just realized I'm in a hotel during Double Down Day. Ooh, yes, yes. You should totally do that. Is your daughter staying with you in the hotel? Because she'll probably be out doing college things. I love this. I love this for her. I write long books. So when I go to write something shorter, I find it harder. This is it, right? Can't write short to save my life, right? Mm-hmm. This is it. This is it. Me over here trying to write a novel in one draft. Doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I get it, because your brain says, I'm going to write the thing and then it will be done, quote unquote. It is tough trying to work against your nature, Leslie. Absolutely it is. But just stop for a minute and think, ask yourself the question, is this really my nature, or am I expecting perfection out of myself? And the reason that I say this is because I've been there. My first novel took me 6 years to write because I didn't know enough about story structure, or I didn't even know how to stay in a single point of view in a scene, and I was expecting perfection out of myself. And then I met Sarah, and then I went ahead and I published the book anyway because it was good enough. It's not my best work, definitely not my best work, because I have since nailed down story structure and this sort of thing. But I would still be sitting on that book had I not been hit over the head by our lovely Ms. Cannon and her stop expecting perfect. She says she goes back and she reads the first few books of the Shadow Demon Saga and she cringes. I love that. And I love it because you're always consistently getting better, right? So she's staying in the dorms and so you're just going to be nearby. You absolutely should take some time. Absolutely. Thank you for being here. The longest thing I ever written was and I struggled. See, some people just are able to write better a certain way. And you know what? If that's the case for you, where you love writing short and you're good at writing short, then write short. Do it. Just do it. Look at Harlequin romances. Those things are what? 20K? Maybe on the outside. And look at how many people write those things and how well they do. It's like trying to force yourself into somebody else's box. You know what I mean? Write what you love. Write what you're good at. See, Elizabeth, 100K plus word novels are her specialty. She's good at that. So she doesn't try to cut it down to 75,000 words because then the story suffers for it. Right? I tried to push Vengeful Soul out to 85K. The story suffered for it. I kept writing things that belonged in book 2. I'm like, no, I need to end this story here on a cliffhanger. I needed to, because that's what the story needed. It needed to be ended on a cliffhanger. Y'all are going to hate me. Sketching is a foreign concept. Yeah. I can see that. I know people like this. I know artists like this, that sketching, they don't sketch first. Yeah, they just go at it. And if that works for you, then do it. But understand you are going to have to edit. I mean, if it works for you, do it. If it's what you love, do it. It kind of goes back to that whole thing of, people saying if you're going to be an author, you have to write every day. No, you don't. There are no rules. There are no rules. There are guidelines. Things like story structure, and those are guidelines. Okay? Yes, there's certain beats that you have to hit to get the story to flow right, but there's still only guidelines. There are no rules. There is no writing police. Nobody's going to come and take your keyboard away from you if you don't do it right. See, and you don't sketch when you paint. I don't know too many people who paint that sketch it out first. Yeah, I don't know too many people who do that. I don't either. I don't rewrite from the beginning, but I don't tend to write a messy first draft, but that's because I spend so much time plotting. It's because I spend so much time plotting. And yes, adding scenes, and I do edit as I go as well. But my grammar skills are not the best. They're not the best. And that is why I invested in Pro Writing Aid, because I don't want to hit my editor with that much of a mess. Right? And that's the thing. You've written 50 books, right? So you figured out what worked for you. I have 24 under my belt. I mean, when I say, I'm not saying books, I'm talking publications, because those short stories are each publications, but they were treated like a novel. I mean, I had them edited and everything, you know, because I figured if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right. And that's not to say that you can't just do it yourself and get proofreaders and run it through Pro Writing Aid and all that. Like I said, you got to do what works for you, right? But once you've got a few under you, it there's a difference. There's a difference, and it makes things go faster. You know, my plotting is a lot faster now than it used to be when I stopped pantsing and started plotting. And I still do all of the crazy stuff with the color coding and all of that. I still do all of that, but it goes a lot faster now because I've got it under my belt. Like even with those short stories, like the 7 to 10,000 words, those were still plotted. Those were still plotted out. I used a happy planner style like this, and each one was a story, and it was more of an outline than a plot, really. But I had like notes on the side where, for extra things that didn't fit into the outline, because there was still a natural flow that I had to hit, right? Inka, stop. Do not make me use my mom voice. You are an amazing writer. You are an amazing writer. And see, this is another thing that I have seen people do, and I think it's amazing that you just it's like word vomit. Let me just get it out, and then I will go back and outline and plot and everything else now that I have something to work with. And I love this. I love this. Yeah, right? Incident reports. How often do you hear me say they've wandered off into the bushes? Now I got to go chase them. Because it happens. It happens. They go off script and it drives me nuts, but it's usually for the best. It's usually for the best. Okay, cold hot chocolate is not, ew. Cold hot chocolate is not the best, y'all. So, who's super excited for May? I can't even. It's getting so warm here, and we have had enough rain in the last 6-8 weeks that I'm really hoping that we're not going to see the fires like we had before. And the weather looks like it's just kind of slowly warming up, because that was part of the problem last year, was that we went from freezing cold to, 30 plus degrees overnight, and everything was dry. We don't have that problem right now, but I'm excited to start getting some flowers out on the deck and stuff like that. Hey, Casey, how are you? It's here, right? It's here already. And we didn't have a harsh winter here. Actually never seen a winter like this. We only had one good storm. We only had one storm that shut the city down. Normally we have 3, maybe 4 every winter here. It was crazy. I'm so excited for May. Oh my gosh. Next one doesn't start till June. You got a full month. Oh my God. Good luck. Good luck. You've got this. You've been studying. I know you've been studying. Your birthday's on the 28th. My childhood best friend's birthday is on the 28th too. My mom's birthday's the 23rd. And then I have one other friend whose birthday is in May, and I can't remember when. I think it's the 21st. Then I'm off to London for the self-publishing show. That's right. You won that ticket last year, and you took Chad with you, as I remember. You took all the pictures with your Chad journal. That was so funny. Oh my gosh. Two of my favorite months, my English from 25. My son will be 28 years old this year. My brother's 2 boys. Matthew will be 29 in December. Michael will be 30 in June. I don't know when that happened, but it happened too fast. Happened too fast. My grandmother's birthday is on May the 8th. She'll be 79. Mom will be 80 this year. I cannot believe it. She doesn't look it. I might take Carlos this year. He'll just remind you to stop and breathe and take a little self-care, right? I love this. I love this so much. You guys are so awesome. I love these, and I love doing this every other week. I love doing it every other week. 18 in June. Oh my God. And off to college already. Like, what the heck? When does this happen? When did when did they get so big? My oldest is 21. She's a bartender. Oh my God, Casey. That's a good job to have. I hear the money is real good, but I also hear it's a quick burnout job, especially for females, female presenting people. Because yeah, I don't think I would do a job like that. Yeah. Yes, dog's birthday counts. Yes, because Liam turned 9 yesterday. He better have gotten some treats. Oops, did he hear me say that? Oops, I forgot I wasn't supposed to say the T word out loud. My baby starts working with me tomorrow and is 19. So fast. Mine are 25 and almost 22. Headphones on. 29 in July. Y'all, I'm telling you. She makes bank. It's a part-time gig while she's in college. See, even part-time as a bartender, you can make full-time wages doing part-time as a bartender. If you're engaging, if you don't mind, I couldn't do it. I'm way too much of an introvert. Because it's funny because I thought, well, if this writing thing, isn't panning out as quickly as I need it to, and I need to be bringing this extra money, I can go get a job, wait tables somewhere. And then I'm like, yeah, no. I don't mind working retail, but I used to wait tables when I was younger. I waited tables. My very first paying job, was waiting tables in a tea room in a very affluent neighborhood. And my best customer was a guy who owned an Audi dealership. And he would come in for a coffee and leave me a $10 tip. And I enjoyed that, but it was a tiny tea room. There was 6 tables, right? So, yeah, but you can make bank. You can make bank in the service industry. My 11-year-old sold her first short story to my publisher. Tell her congratulations. Oh my goodness. That's big. And it really kind of sets the tone for your whole writing career. My first time being published, I was 7. There was a magazine way back. I don't know if it was down in the States, but it was here in Canada, called Highlights. And I was published there. I don't even think I got paid when I was 7. A poem that I wrote about my cat who liked to drool when she was happy. But that made me want to become a writer. Right. Made me want to become a writer. Made me want to become an author. And then it took me 40 some years to actually do it. So much congratulations to her, Casey. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. I don't have the patience or tolerance for waiting tables. I would, if I came across one of these entitled customers, I would just, it wouldn't be pretty. I'd lose my job very, very fast. Okay, so you guys have highlights there as well. Yeah. She should be excited. She should totally be excited. Yeah, so this would have been in like the mid 70s. Yeah. I liked waiting tables. I only did it for 3 months. It depends a lot on I think where you work. Because I mean, I know that the clientele that I had in the tea room would never behave in the way that you see a lot of people do in, say, like, Ponderosa or Golden what is it? Golden Corral, is that what you guys got down there in the States? Like the Ponderosas used to be up here? But, yeah, for sure. You guys, everybody is rocking it. I am so proud of you, and I'm so very grateful that you come here and share all of this with me, and you listen to me sharing my stuff with you, and I love this community that we've built. I love our little subsection of this community that we've built, and I certainly hope that you guys keep coming around and that I get to see some of you, if not all of you, in Scroll and Scribe because it's going to be amazing. I opened up a wait list today. So if you go to Power Play Press, click on Scroll and Scribe. And if you're even just thinking about it, get yourself on the wait list because this July is the soft launch. So it's going to have a limited number of seats. So if you want to get on the wait list for it, please do so because I would hate to have you guys miss out. I love you guys to bits. I love you to bits. I can't even. You're amazing. You're amazing. I will see you guys on Saturday. And there are no sprints through heart breathings tomorrow from the looks of it, unless somebody ends up doing some pop-ups. So keep your eye on the group and maybe somebody will do some pop-ups. It won't be me though, because I got a full day on. But I will see you guys on Saturday for Double Down Day. So exciting, so exciting. All right, listen, take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Okay. Love you to bits. We'll talk soon.